So that was a flying start. I muted myself. So yeah, here we go. Good evening and welcome to Conkers Live. It's great to have so many of you out there chatting away. Thank you very much. Been trying to join in, but it's just been a little bit manic here trying to get all the last few minute things going. Yeah, but we've got there in the end. So you all know who I am, so I'm going to take that away. We don't need to have that anymore. So Conkers Live, it's a new idea from us. It's a crazy idea, really. Every so often, we're going to host some live demos from some of the best turners we can get our hands on. The whole idea is, of course, that at the moment, with the situation that's going on, we can't get out to shows, we can't get out to demos, and the demonstrators are missing out, definitely. So we know that this small effort from us isn't going to make a huge difference to them in the long run, but we're doing our little bit for them. So we're supporting the demonstrators and we're supporting you guys out there as well, putting on some demos for you all to see. Now, just a couple of very quick housekeeping things to go through. If you were here for the virtual weekender, you'll know that on the Saturday we had one or two problems with our favourite people, YouTube. Still never got to the bottom of that. But of course, we're not the BBC, as I'm very fond of saying. So if we do have any problems, hold on and we'll be back as quickly as we can. You might need to go back to our main YouTube page and we'll know if anything's gone wrong fairly quickly and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. At about 9:30 or when the demo finishes, we're going to switch over to Zoom and we'll be putting the links out in the chat room for you later on. So you can come and join us. We can have a chat. We can have a social chat. I can have a relax and that'll be really nice. And we'll get going where we are there. So what I'd like to do now is if I can, is bring Chris on screen if he's ready for us. Hi there, Chris. I can't see him in the camera at the moment. I've got a little broadcast room. Chris, are you ready to come on screen? Yeah, no, we don't know at the moment. So let's see what we do with that. This is all live, so who knows what's going to happen next. So it could all be fun. So just waiting for Chris to get in front of the camera and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat as we go. So if you've got any questions, we'll try and answer those throughout the evening. Yeah, let's just see if we can get Chris on this camera. No, we've got half a camera, half a screen there, but no sign of Chris at the moment. So let's change that in the background. Oh, there he is. So Chris, we've got you there, I think now. Let's just change the camera angle. No, wrong camera. Come back, Chris. Where are you? No, he's not in that one. He's not in that camera. This is bizarre. I can see him on my phone, which I'm using to monitor the live stream, but I can't see him on the monitors here.
Can you see me, Nicola?
Right. Okay. Right. Chris, speak to me. I think everyone watching can see you, but for some reason I can't. I don't know what's going on there. Let me
Hi,
put my
Terry.
glasses back on. In the comments, people, can you see Chris? Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's something very strange going on there. Chris, speak to me.
Hello, Terry.
Hi, Chris. Hooray. Well, something's working right. I don't know what's going on there with this this monitor. I've got the background where you should be. I can see it, but I can't see you for some reason. So let's take those two cameras out. And let's just check my phone, make sure we've still got you there. And yep, I can still see you. So that's good. Hopefully we can still hear you as well. So Chris, I'm just going to remove that one out of there and I put it back in. No, it's not letting me see you, so I don't know what's going on there. This is going to make it fun. Anyway, mate, how are you? You keeping well? And have I muted you somehow? No, that's... Oh, don't you love technology when it works well? Why could I hear you a moment ago and I can't hear you now? Hang on, I'll take you out there completely and put you back in. Oh, right. Hang on. I can see Nicola moving over now. Oh, this is absolutely bizarre. Chris, speak to me. Say something. Okay, let's unmute that. No, I can't unmute that one. I can't unmute that. Oh, we rehearsed this. I promise you, we did that before we came on screen. So that's not working terribly well. We had a 20-minute practice through on this. So yeah, you can all hear me, I hope. Can you hear me? Yeah, right. Chris, the camera that you're on, which is the main Chris Fisher RPT camera, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to take it out from here. If you can just log that back in, and then we'll retry that. Let's see if that works. Hang on, no, let's try. Chris, I'll put you back on the other camera. And that one really should have sound with it. Oh, I heard something then.
I've just turned the microphones off, then back on again.
Ah, that seems to have made a difference.
Okay.
Right, okay. So, yeah, we've got something there at last. So that's good. So brilliant. So,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So, right, folks, I'm really sorry about this. This is live TV, live YouTube for you. So, Chris, how are you? Are you keeping well?
Yeah, just a minute. I can't hear you out of my headset now.
I promise you, we did rehearse, we did practice, and it was working perfectly.
Earphone.
So one of the other things we were planning to do, just while we try and set all of this up, is that we had intended to get people from other clubs to come in and join us. And White Woodturners are hopefully watching out there. I'm not really sure if they're if they are or not, but we were. Someone from White Woodturners on the Isle of Wight was going to come in and join us and say hello and just tell us what they've been up to. They've had connection issues as well. We saw them come in a little while ago, but they haven't actually managed to get back on here. So I don't know what's happened there. So Chris,
Hello.
hello. Right, I'm going to keep all 4 cameras up for the time being, just so that we know that you can see it. It's got a lovely picture of a hand there. So yeah, how are you, mate? Are you well?
I'm all right. Yeah, it's great to be here with you all.
It's great. It's kind of great to have you. I can see you in one screen, and I can't see you in another, and I really don't understand what's going on there. That's absolutely bizarre. But I'm getting the message there. Thank you, Leona. Everything seems to be okay now. So thank heavens for that. So, Chris, it's yeah. You're thanks for all the advertising and everything else you've been doing this after during the day for us. Absolutely brilliant. And I got to ask you that the burning question's got to be, you know, I've seen Nicola, we've seen Nicola's hand and everything else going there, and you. Is Bamber going to be making an appearance this evening?
I think if we have the break, I can bring him in at break time.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, that'd be really nice, because I thought you were going to say no, and I thought, well, we're going to lose half the audience straight away there. So yeah, if Bamber's coming along, we should be able to keep everyone there. So that's good news.
Yeah, he'll pop along at about 8:35, 8:30.
About 8:30, 8:35. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, Richard, thank you for that feedback. Yeah, funnily enough, you've got. I mean, I've got my phone going on the side here, so I can see exactly what you can see, and I can see Chris on there, but the monitor on the computer really isn't showing Chris. I think that feed is frozen, but I'm not sure how to get it back without kicking Chris out completely. So we'll work something out on that. There may just be a lag slightly with the changing of the cameras, because I'm in charge of that as well. So who knows what's going to happen later on. Chris, there was something I wanted to talk to you about, which is in your Instagram posts and the like, you often make reference to 80%. And I think I know what that's about, but I don't know if everyone does. So do you want to fill us in on the significance of that number?
Yeah, sure. Well, 80% is the huge and startling statistic. That is 80% of all grown blind adults, 80% struggle to find work or keep work. So it's a huge number, and what happens is a lot of blind people find it hard to integrate with society, and employers have to invest in a lot of technology to accommodate someone that's blind. So it's a lot of different variables that make up that statistic, but it's quite sad that so many blind people struggle to like I say, find work and keep hold of it.
Yeah, it can't be easy. That's for sure. And presumably there are organisations supporting and helping in the background, but I guess it must be difficult for them placing people in positions around the place. And obviously you've done very well carving out really quite a niche for yourself with this. So yeah, congratulations on that. That's really wonderful.
No, thank you. There are great organisations, and I have done a lot of work with Henshaw Society for the Blind that have got colleges and arts and craft centres around the country, residential schools that give blind people and severely visually impaired people the tools they need to integrate into modern life, really. So there are some great institutions, and the RNIB, of course, Sight Seekers and Galloways. There's lots of great institutions out there helping the blind. But yeah, I certainly took a different path, and with Nicola being a business advisor, she really did spur me on to say, look, Chris, we're either going to do this or we're not going to do it. And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly and put our head above the parapet, which is what I'm, hoping to achieve. And I think we're off to a good start anyway.
Yeah, I think definitely you've done really well with everything that you've achieved. And yeah, it must be great for other people in your situation to know what you're doing. And I hate to throw around the word inspiration, but it must assist people to see that and think, yeah, I can do something. There's a chance to do something and to get out there. So that's fantastic. So keep up the good work, mate. And later on, if we get a chance, I'd like to have a chat to you about the Men in Sheds connection that you had as well. But what I'll do for now, I'll take you off screen, and then we'll come back to you in just literally just a couple of minutes, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, we'll hand over to the demonstration. So
sounds brilliant, Terry.
Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
So there you go. And yeah, just seen we've got 19 white woodturners watching us. I need to be careful how I say that. 19 woodturners from the Isle of Wight watching us, which sounds a whole lot better. Great to have you there, guys. 3 from West Sussex woodturners, and absolutely brilliant. So great to have you out there. Now, we will be holding Conkers every so often. Hopefully it'll get better. And we know that some of the evenings that we hold them on are going to clash with club meetings. If you're having Zoom meetings or whatever else, then why not? What we want to encourage people to do is to have their meeting with us. So you can gate crash our meeting. You can come and watch the demo. It's all free. And at the same time, let's take those off because they're reflecting. At the same time, what we'd like to do and what we intended to do this evening, but it hasn't worked, is to bring someone on from the club, talk about what they've been up to, talk about what the club's doing, and just keep people together. Try and maybe spread some ideas around as well, and give people some inspiration, some ideas, what else they could be doing. Been chatting to a couple of clubs recently, and the ideas and things they've been up to. Absolutely fantastic. So lots of good work going on out there. Keep it up, and let's hope one day we can all meet properly in person at clubs again, at demos and shows, and we can do this all in person again. I think there might be a case for online demonstrations carrying on, but in the meantime, even once the clubs are started up again, but yeah, we'll carry on with this for the time being. So we're heading up to 7:30, and I think it's about time to get Chris back on screen, get me off the screen, that's for sure. Now I'm driving the cameras tonight, so any assistance that you have in the comments there, if you've got the wrong view, let me know. Chris is going to try and feed me the info as well. So yeah, we'll get that going. I'll bring Chris back on screen. And I will see you again in about an hour's time. So the first half of the demo from Chris. We will take a short break afterwards, only about 5 minutes, give you a chance to grab a coffee, go off and do whatever you might need to do. And then we'll carry straight on the second half of the demo. And then we'll go over to Zoom and have a little Q&A, and I can have a bit of a relax by then. So, folks, I'll hand you over to Chris, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks very much indeed. Chris, over to you, mate.
Cheers, Terry. Well, good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. I'm just going to remove my headset now so I don't get any distractions in my ear whilst I'm turning. Nicola's listening in. Can you hear everything okay, Nicola? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's great to have you, and I'm honoured to be the inaugural professional woodturner on Conkers Live. So yeah, it's great hanging out with Terry. Every opportunity we get, Terry Mandy and his amazing team there, and I am a huge Chestnut fan. So yeah, what I will be doing tonight is I've been working through some ideas all day. So I have got a piece of ash here, and I am going to turn it into quite a classical shape, but then I'm going to power carve it using the Merlin 2. And then I'm going to apply a homemade chalk paint base, a very light, almost a white colour. Could be a bit of like an off-white, a creamy colour as the base. And then I'm going to apply some chestnut iridescent paints. So the ideas come to me from the chocolate drops you used to get, but the white chocolate ones that had the multicoloured sprinkles on. So hopefully I'm going for hundreds and thousands inspired piece. Something with a lot of colour. Nicola loves colour, a lot of vibrancy, some texture, because it's that sensory tactile element for me being blind. So hopefully I'm going to demonstrate some turning skills. I think we'll probably just get the outside, the bottom of the bowl done tonight. So yeah, I'll be demonstrating some turning, some carving, and some colouring. So hopefully it'll be a great half a bowl. Right, so obviously safety first. So I've got the face shield on there. Just make sure that the mic is on the right side. And actually, I just want to say a big hello to a very special friend of ours, a gentleman called Corey, who's listening from Charlottesville in Virginia, America. So, yeah. Hi, Corey. So here we go. 3/8 bowl gouge. So obviously, Terry, you're going to be wanting a tailstock view for this, my friend. And so what I've done is I've set the tool rest height on center for me, keeping the handle down and locked into my side here. So I've got great stability. My feet are positioned correctly, again for stability. So I'm going to turn the lathe on and we're going to just true this face up and then you'll see how I work things through and solve problems and turn and the way I do things, bearing in mind that I'm doing it all just with touch and mental imagery because I have no vision at all. I'm totally blind. So first of all, I need to feel for that point in the middle. Just pull back, let this come up to speed. Just nice and gentle, face this off. Again, feel back. So I'm just gently riding. So tools are freshly sharpened today on the Tormek T8. I've got a Tormek T8. I've had the pleasure of working with Pontus and Tormek, courtesy of Brymark Tools. So that's given me a nice, it wasn't hugely out of true, the face. It's quite a round piece. So what I need to do now is straight away start thinking about marking. This is going to be expansion mode, a mortise. It's going to have a little foot and then I'll shape the wall. So what I first need to do now is mark the position of my mortise. So for those of you that don't know, I'm also sort of like a closeted inventor. And I came up with this device here called the Speed Sizer. So with me being, again, supported by Axminster Tools, this has most of the common jaw sizes horizontally, and they're lettered B, C, D, etc. And then you have this vertical line, which are numbered in 10mm increments. So I know that I've got C jaws on, and I'm using them in external mode, expansion mode. So I've got a little sticker there next to the hole I need, but obviously sighted people can see the letter. So I'm going to hold that in place. Just back it off a little bit. I do need that to spin. So you can either do this with a pencil, which most of you guys would do if you own one of these. But because a pencil is of no use to me, I need to make a tactile score line. So again, just locate that hole. So I'm just going to, I like to do it that way. So that now has left a tactile score line. You would use a pencil. You can rotate the bowl blank by hand if you want to do that, but I just fire it up. So that's a nice chunky tactile line for me. So it'll work with most jaw sizes in the Axminster range, and if you've got another brand, you should find a hole that suits. So I know now that that is the perfect size, the optimum size, and there was no guessing, no measuring, no divider work where you could get a catch. I couldn't do that. It'd be dangerous for me. So it's repeatable, it's accurate time and time again. So what I need to do now, so excuse me, I'm probably might block a bit So I'm just feeling for that score line. I'm going in. At the right angle for the dovetail. And then I'm going to come across. I'm going to give myself a wider foot than I need. Maybe just thin that down a bit more. So with being blind, I love reference points. I love a datum point. I love something that's tactile. So what I've got there now is marked out the position of the mortise. I've given myself a foot, which is slightly oversized, but when I'm power carving, if I inadvertently just catch the edge of that foot, I can just thin it down again later with a parting tool or the bowl gouge, and that will be cool. So now going to a square carbide cutter, and this is a set that were custom made for me. Chunky tactile knob, tactile score lines at 1/4 inch increments. Again, just let this come up to speed. Just removing the material nice and slow. Getting some vibration early on in the game, just while things are still quite heavy. Feeling all the way that I go. And I'm just going to have a feel there now, make sure that I haven't got any step. No unsightly transitions that I don't want. And I'll just remove that little bit of a pip. The pip of doom, as I call it. So that's nice. That's cool. I'm liking how that's feeling so far. So obviously keeping the speed relatively slow. It's got a digital readout this for the RPMs, the RPMs. But obviously it's about as much use to me as a chocolate fireguard. So I just go off sound. So now I've got a tool rest height collar on this, again available from Axminster. So I know now that it's back on center for my bowl gouge. So I'm going to start working the corner around here. Just make sure that I've got some clearance, but still quite close. So again, feeling, touching everything. Mental imagery is firing all the time. I'm listening to what's going on. So again, find my position. Handle down, locked into my waist. So I can just start shaping this. Just drop that face shield down a bit. And now what's happened, because I have stepped away from the tool rest and I have to stop and feel for my position again. It's just a byproduct of being blind. As long as I'm in contact with the work and everything's flowing, the mental imagery is working for me. As soon as I stop, I need to reposition. I can't be readjusting things whilst the lathe is moving, because I have great muscle memory and great memory map in my mind, but I really have no sort of like way of judging how close I am to the the workpiece, how far it is from the tip of the tool to the workpiece. So I don't take any chances. So we're just going nice and steady here. So have a feel of that. Start, stop, feel, start, stop, feel. It's the way that a blind wood turner has to work. Start, stop, feel, start, stop, feel. Just turn the speed up a little bit. Again, feel for where I am. Just one pass, pulling my body back. Again, feeling, listening, thinking. A lot of thinking involved. We can just come round here now. Again, let the lathe come up to speed. Start shaping around. Nice safe pull cut for me. No, the readout on the front will be a load of computer numbers as the computer is sort of like regulating the torque and the volts and all that. No, I don't. I'm guessing it's about, by the sound of it, probably about 1200. All right. Thanks, Dave. So just nice and slowly. So continuing to work this around. And obviously you can close your flute and get more of a shear cut. And open the flute as you go for a more aggressive cut. So again, feeling for any transitions as the shapes come in now. It's nice to feel the shavings on the back of my hand, but I don't like too many. I don't like them sat on there for too long because they become irritable then. And I don't mean from a toxicity standpoint. I mean from I'm blind and I need to focus and it's annoying standpoint. So probably looks good for photographs, etc. But so I'm getting near to the shape that I want now. Again, start, stop, feel, start, stop, feel. This is going to be power carved, so really we don't need a gallery finish on it. Doing more of a shearing cut now. But I do want a reasonably good finish. Just for peace of mind. We are nearly there now, so excuse me. So I have no problems with touching the work there. Again, it's muscle memory. Nothing's going to scare me. But obviously I do it from up here, so I'm not getting near that tool rest. It is a 3/8 bowl gouge. So a bowl gouge traditionally has a deeper flute, which is the U shape of the steel, than a spindle gouge. So a bowl gouge is a surprise, surprise, a very capable tool for working on bowls. But it's a 3/8. It's known as a 3/8 bowl gouge. It's very, very sharp, very effective, nice and controllable. So I can just feel that little transition there. So again, going as smooth as I can get, really. So I'm just going to reach behind me now, folks, and feel for my scraper. Turn the speed up. So it's down a bit. So nice and gentle. As my father used to say, touch of a midwife. And as my stepfather likes to say, just too much enough. Obviously, if you press too hard with this, you're going to start putting a whole new different shape into it. So feel and stop feel. And I can just give that foot a little kiss while I'm here. So that's for Yash.
What is the bowl material and what is your favourite bowl material?
Okay, the bowl material is ash, and my favourite material is anything I can get my hands on. I just love wood turning. You know, yeah, some days you can be turning a piece of sycamore or lime and you go, well, that was just so nice and compliant, and you know, that project was a complete breeze and I loved it. And then some days you can have a piece of oak or ash and it's, you know, it's putting up a fight and it's the hardest thing you've ever felt in your life, or leadwood or ebony, you know, and you get a lot of pleasure out of that because of the challenges that you face because of that. So lots and lots of different materials, lots and lots of different wood species. I love them all for different reasons, and it depends on my mood on that day. But we all know when you've had a really punky piece of wood and you're thinking, oh Lord, I just need to pack this job in. But you don't, you stick with it, of course. So that's a perfectly acceptable finish now for power carving. So I will be using the Merlin 2 for this. And what I'm going to do is, safety first, I am going to make sure that I unplug the lathe. And I've got the spindle lock on. So I don't want to accidentally lean on any buttons. And I'm going to now get my power cap on. So now we've had this on with the headset. So let me know how that is. Can you still hear me, guys? Is that okay? And obviously, you know, that's going to protect my lungs as well. But because of the headset, you can still hear what I'm up to. So what I'm going to do now is start power carving. It's the Merlin 2. And this was sent to me by Nick Agar and Arthur Aveling. So they're very dear friends of mine now. And yes, I'm going to hopefully put sort of like a hammered scalloped effect over, one of my favourite effects. So again, I am just going to go through a couple of passes with everything static, just getting the muscle memory going and how it feels. So I'll do a portion, and the beauty of this being a hammered finish, you know, I can overlap where the carbide disc has been, and it's nothing to worry about. So, and if I catch that foot on the edge, again, I've left it slightly oversized because I'm blind. So, right, let's go. This takes a little bit of time, but I'll go as fast as I can. Just move that around a little bit. Have a feel. So it's going to be like a hammered, textured, hopefully, effect. Have a feel. These angle grinders, these Merlins are brilliant. Love them. You have so much fun. Yeah? It's better because it's got variable speed. I think it's slightly better construction. So I would say a bit better. But the Proxons, I've still got my Proxon, and Proxons are great, but I think this has, you know, just been better thought out, the Merlin. Thank you, please. So there's no great mystery to this technique. It's just about doing these little scallops all over. quite a quick technique. So you just keep going around, and like I say, and like I like to say, this is completely random but with a purpose. And every now and then I'll just have a feel. It's a great technique when you might just want to get something down quite quickly. All right, yeah. But the possibilities are endless, you know, with tools like this. It's just what your imagination can come up with. Let's move that around a little bit. How am I? Oh, about halfway around. So it does actually make a different sound at certain points as well, which is good for me, relying on that sound. Obviously, don't be tempted to go in there and be doing that. Make sure my hands are well clear when I'm having a feel. I love doing this sort of stuff. It's so much fun. Sorry? The Merlin is available, I do believe, at the Tool Post, and maybe also Classic Hand Tools. Yeah, so check them out. And there's different types of kit you can get, and you know there are different variations. You get a fixed speed one, variable speed. You get lots and lots of different accessory options. So depending on how much you want to spend and what accessories you want, there's a kit out there for you. With this kit that Nick Agar sent me and Arthur Aveling, they took out the chainsaw accessory. They didn't think it was wise to give a blind guy a chainsaw attachment, but I am tempted to buy one myself, which will be fine because that way they're exonerated. If I buy a chainsaw attachment, you know, it's of my own volition, and they're not to blame, but I am tempted to get one because I'll never know. If I don't have a go with one, I would never have known. Don't worry, folks. What's the worst that can happen? So that feels like it's done all the way around there. 8:05. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to remove the power cap for now. And what I need to do now is just quickly change out. All right, there you go. So grab your bargains whilst you can from the tool post. So I'm guessing that's the pandemic, is it? Well, it's wrong to guess. So I'm just having a feel here in my little... Thank you very much, Jennifer. So what I'm going to do now is just change out this carbide disc, the saber tooth. Put that back in there. And now what I'm going to mount is a 3M roll lock. So 3M, the huge global corporation. Roll lock abrasive bristle brush. And this is going to do a great job of just blending and softening down that texture a little bit. So basically, rather than stand there for an hour trying to sand it with your fingers, this will do it very quickly. Originally from the automotive industry, used for bodywork, panel preparation, and removal of rust and things from chassis and whatnot. But yes, you get, this is an 80 grit one. So yeah, you'd think, well, that sounds a bit coarse for doing that now, but it will tidy this up and get rid of all the fuzzy wuzzies. Take the spindle lock off now. But also it adds a little subtexture as well. If you were just going to do that and then apply your normal finishes, it applies a nice little subtexture. But I'm going to cover that with chalk paint anyway. So back with the power cap. Just turn the speed down a little bit. So then we're going to move this over the entire surface and clean it all up. Those bristles expand and flare to get inside all the nooks and crannies. So again, go round, feel. You can go quite quickly with this, but you don't want to press too hard, otherwise you will remove the texture that you've just put down. We're after just blending it in, making it a bit more harmonious. And obviously you don't want any fibres and grains stuck up. That's feeling pretty good at that. I'm just going to leave the feel for my tool rest. Feel for the tool post. So what I'm going to do, I have caught that foot in just a couple of places. So again, just using my finger there as a reference, how to line it up. This is why I just like to give myself Sorry, I think I hit a camera then. Boing. So I can just feel there now where I need to be. Remove a little bit of material off that foot. Tidy up that edge where I'd caught. And it will also just give it a little bit of a border, some delineation. There. And now, let's get rid of that. I'm going to do a little bit of sanding. Don't have to go nuts again. Don't have to sand up to 400. The 3M Roll-Lock abrasive bristle brushes, you mean? Well, try eBay or Amazon. That's where we get our 3M Roll-Locks from, isn't it, Nicola? You get them for me. About £6 or something for a few, or £12 for a few. Yeah, don't cost a fortune. So we're just going nice and slow, supporting my hand there so I don't get the heebie-jeebies. Nice and slow, we're keeping it nice and cool. This is a piece of 120. And I do just kiss that foot, but I hold the paper at an angle so I don't lose that profile on the dovetail. I'm going to keep that spinning while I feel for some 180. So after obviously being a woodturner now for quite a few years, and I've been turning in this workshop now for quite a few years, I have an intimate knowledge of where everything is. I have an intimate knowledge of where my machinery is. So when I'm sanding at a relatively slow speed like this, I feel comfortable at just leaving it going. But if I was doing any tool work, I wouldn't. It's not worth it. Not with the tool rest in place and things like that. So it's down to me, you know, as to what I feel comfortable with. But obviously, if you're not comfortable with something in your own workshop, stop what you're doing and reevaluate. So again, just feel. See, nothing's going to happen. No tool rests to get bound up with. Cuffs on the sleeves are velcroed back. They're not going to get tangled up in anything. It's all about knowing your machinery. Let's have a stop and a feel at that. That's feeling good. Now, it wouldn't be a Blind Woodturner piece without without the ubiquitous spiral in the base, my maker's mark, as it were. So, speed's relatively slow. So I'm going to just turn it up a little bit. I've got the knurled locking nut to the right, so it's away. If it was to the left and I was doing it at an angle, I could allow the nut to come in contact with the piece and put a design in that I wasn't really going for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move over, rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So counting does nothing more than me get the same depth for both of those little designs. And just bend down, get some shavings. Just denib that. Give it a bit of a burnish. So that softened everything down. Got the airline. Give this a good clean up now with the airline. That should suffice. So there we go. So the next step now is for me to apply the chalk paint. But if you wanted to now and seal this piece and polish it, I think you'd probably agree that would be a cracking. How does that look, Nicola? So yeah, there's no mysteries to this. It's just, I concentrate a lot and think about what I'm doing and try to be methodical and never deviate. I use the same process every project. So I always have that technique locked in. Right, so what we have here now is some homemade chalk paint. I made it before, and this is just some ordinary emulsion paint, and you give it a good dollop. So emulsion paint, talcum powder, baby talc. You squirt it in there. You can do this with absolutely any colour of emulsion paint. Just find my spoon. So you just mix the talcum powder. It smells amazing as well. That's another reason why I do it. Again, that sensory thing. So you mix the talcum powder in until it feels nice and creamy. And this stuff sticks like the proverbial you-know-what to the blanket of you-know-what. So this sticks to metal, glass. I don't know what it does. I've never really studied the chemistry of it. But yeah, it sticks to anything, chalk paint. So what I'm going to do now is this is going to be a lovely bright base for the iridescent paints that we're going to apply later. Now I can tell by the feel of the brush on the wood and the paint, I can tell the difference between bare wood and an area where paint is, because it feels different. There's some stiction there. There's a bit of a grabbing quality because there's some paint on there, and it sounds different, of course, to bare wood where it's just going on like normal. So I can tell by touch where I have been. So, and I use a stippled technique because again, it's another layer of texture, and one less thing to worry about is brush marks. So, okay, 8:20. I think we will get this chalk paint on before we break for a few minutes. So keep stippling, keep applying it all the way around. And of course, if you're a big fan of the shabby chic look, or you've got, a loved one or customers that might want that shabby chic look, you can do this with any colour you want, or a few layers of differing colours of chalk paint, and then you can start knocking it back in areas, and you could do some really nice shabby chic work. He's on fire, him, tonight. Yeah, go on, Dave.
Does the talc add to the adhesion?
Yes.
Change the texture?
Both. It makes it stick really well, and it does give it an added texture. It's like becomes chalky. But also, if you were to apply multiple layers of chalk paint, and then start sanding it back, and then going through the wet and dries, sanding it back with water up to the 12,000 as if you were doing an acrylic pen, it goes like ceramic, glazed ceramic. So I have done that as well. Applied many coats, sanded it to 12,000, and then polished it, and it goes like glazed ceramic. So you could give a piece of wood turned art, a true pottery look. So just again, be creative, have fun, go nuts, experiment. The great production turners out there. Dave Dalby, he says, when he was young, he'd go in the workshop and he'd get some wood on the lathe, and he'd just, pick up a tool and he'd turn it, and there'd be shavings everywhere, and he'd be going, oh, what can I do with this tool? And he just did that for hours and hours and hours, experimenting, having fun, making shavings. He'd just put a piece of pine on, and right, this tool does this, and this tool does this and that, and this and that. And so nothing wrong with experimentation at all, or just having fun, trying new things. So it dries very quickly. So I'm sort of like giving it a second coat quickly around the perimeter on this outer part, because there was no, the wood wasn't sealed. It was quite porous, but pine is fine. Well, there's still a lot of furniture made out of pine, doors and dining room tables and. That's right. Well, I love all these poems coming out now.
Richard says, does the paint still smell baby paint once it's dry?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. Yeah. For a while. It does. So keeping that stippling technique going. You don't want to load the brush up too much. Just make sure I get in that mortise. So how's that looking for coverage, folks? So that stipple technique gives it a nice even texture all over. And you can do this any colour you want, or layers of colour. Incroyable. Right, so it's all about having fun, and the purpose of a demonstration is for me to show you maybe something you hadn't thought of or seen before, and Thanks, Nathan. And it dries quickly as well, this stuff.
He says he loves the £6 hairdryer.
Oh yeah, it's not failed me yet. So you can just keep feeling as you go around. Hi, Benji. Sorry?
Do you use vinyl emulsion?
Yeah, vinyl emulsion, normal emulsion.
Ken Conkers says very inspiring demo, Chris.
Thank you, Ken. So I hope you're getting good images of this.
Russell Bolton said, could you say again what the paint is?
This is just normal vinyl emulsion, matte emulsion rather. Normal matte emulsion, get any colour you want and give it a good couple of squirts of baby talc until you've got the consistency of partly whipped double cream. Not solid where it'd go to peaks, but thick and creamy. But you could still pour it. So I'm going to stand clear now. Get some airflow over it. So yeah, I've got a couple of people listening that follow me on TikTok. Been having a lot of fun TikToking, and it's a great way for me to shoot a very quick, informative video and add some sound and text all in one place. Again, Nicola trained me up on it. So yeah, I've got a couple of people here that are TikTok friends. Corey in Virginia, and little Benji, who is wise beyond his years. And Benji's father rehabilitated blind veterans. So we've got a link there. So TikToks, I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely something for everyone on TikTok. So that's pretty much ready for the next stage there. Few minutes drying now, just in the air, because we must be getting near to a quick. Perfect timing, folks. So I think Terry's sort of like penciled in a toilet break and a quick put the kettle on break in a moment. So any questions just while we're waiting for Terry to come back?
Somebody's shop dog workshop wants a close up, so we'll try and do that. It's just enough to move the camera.
Yeah, we can do.
I haven't actually gone away, Chris, but
Just let me get my earpiece.
image back up. And you can't hear me, so yeah. So we will take a break in just a minute or two. But if there's any questions before we take just a 5-minute break, that's all we're going to do. So if anyone's got any questions they want to ask before we take a break, now's the time to keep an eye on the chat. And if not, so we're looking good. So Chris, if you want to just grab whatever you want to grab, and I'll bring you back on screen again in a couple of minutes. I'll just make a couple of announcements and anything I can think of just to fill the time. And we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes, and then we'll, when you're ready, get on with the second part of the demo. So looking absolutely great so far. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this. And yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Nathaniel Griffiths just asking what colours are you thinking of using?
Going to use Chestnut Products, iridescent,
of course.
And I have already picked a pink, a turquoise, and an azure. But I will show you how I know what the colours are after the break.
Brilliant. Look forward to seeing that. Chris, take a minute or two. I'll take over the screen, and then we'll bring you back on, have a little chat if we have chance, and we'll carry on then. So thank you very much. Fantastic work so far. Really loving it.
Okay, thanks,
and,
guys.
We'll see you again in a minute, mate. Thank you. Okay, thanks, guys. Cheers. So that was amazing so far. Absolutely loving this. So I've not seen Chris work before. Normally at shows and demos where Chris is demonstrating, I'm working as well. So I'm really enjoying this. This is an opportunity for me to see what's going on and to get quite a good view, a very good view actually of what Chris gets up to and everything else. Yeah, really amazing work. So a couple of things just to mention before we get back to Chris. So this is Conkers Live, and Conkers is the name of our Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook and you're not on Conkers Live, then search us out. Anyone using Chestnut Products is very welcome to come and join. Fantastic source of inspiration and questions getting answered there. Loads and loads of information. That's who I am. So yeah, come along and join us. Send us a friend request. Send us a group request. We'll get you in there as quickly as we can. There's a Conkers Live Facebook page as well, and we will very soon have a Conkers Live web page as well, website page. At the moment, we've hijacked the Woodturning Weekend, the website page. So if you go along to there, that will redirect you to Conkers Live. So that's the place to get all the information on the forthcoming demos and the dates. They're already up there. The next demo is 16th of September. I'll be telling you some more about that in a little while, but I'm just going to give you a little teasy little clue as to what it might be. So there we are. So yeah, that's 16th of September, same time, same place. That'll be the next demo coming up. Notice someone say about the discount code. That was a bit cheeky, but the good news is there will be one. What we're going to do for the Conkers Live demos is there'll be a 24-hour flash discount on any of the products that are used during the demo. And it will just be the products from the demo, and there'll be a 10% discount on them. The discount code will be Conkers Chris, all lowercase. So Conkers Chris, as all one word. I'll put that on there as soon as I can. Yeah, Chaz, I probably am out of sync. It's just trying to keep up with the cameras, but we will get there eventually. So that's what you need to know. Any other questions coming in? And yeah, sorry about the sync, guys. That's my next project. Just ran out of time to get that done along with everything else. But that will be better next time, I hope. Again, we're just hovering around the 200 mark. We have had over 200. It's dipping in and out, which is fine. It's great to have so many of you out there. Really pleased to see so many of you. That's absolutely fantastic. One other thing just to mention as well, if you haven't signed up for it, we do a weekly newsletter every Friday morning, just with tips and hints about using Chestnut products. You can sign up for that on any of the pages on our website. Just scroll down to the bottom, and that'll be absolutely, you just sign up from there, and it turns up in your inbox every Friday morning. So if you want to keep in touch with us, find out what's going on, that's a great place to do it. There's also a sign up on the Woodturning Weekender webpage, and that will also get you the information about Conkers Live. So that's that. So let's just pop those back on. And Phil, brilliant. Glad to see that you got into the Zoom room for later on already. We'll get that up going later on. So hopefully if Chris is ready, I'll bring Chris back in. Are you set there, Chris? Because I can't see you on my monitor. So I'm going to bring you on screen now. How do I do this properly like that? There we are.
Terry.
So hopefully we've got you there, Chris. Right, Terry. All right. So and I can't see you. There we go. You've just popped up on my phone now. I don't know what's going on with the with everything here. So just before we do carry on, Chris, yeah, I can see you waving on my phone, but on my computer I can't see you. So yeah, absolutely bizarre, that one. I don't know what's going on there at all. Men's Sheds, you've got involved with Men's Sheds this year. So yeah. I can see you waving on my phone, mate, but you're about 10-15 seconds behind. So yeah, tell me something about your involvement with Men's Sheds and what that's all about.
Well, the UK Men's Sheds Association found out about me last year, and they invited me to be a guest demonstrator at their Shedfest event in Leicestershire. In Leicestershire. So I attended, and they'd invited me to be guest speaker at the award ceremony, the awards dinner in the evening. So I did some public speaking, and it was great hanging out with them. Really worthwhile charity, dealing with men that are going through bereavement, loneliness, mental health problems. So it gets them out and about into a local shed or workshop in their community, and gets them making things to keep them motivated and happy, really. So I delivered the speech, and following that, they were impressed with my talk, and they had a meeting and asked if I would become the first ever patron of the charity, which of course I accepted. So yeah, I do my job at promoting them whenever I can, and we've just had Shedfest 2020, which was done via Zoom. So I was the opening demonstrator and presenter for that weekend. So a great honour. But yeah, they do great work in our communities, keeping people active.
That's fantastic. You seem to be making a habit of doing firsts here. First tonight for Conkers Live and first for Shedfest. I saw some of the activity and the promotion for that. That did look really good. So I hope that went really well. And how do people, if someone watching wants to get in touch with Shedfest, with Men's Sheds or whatever, what's the best way of finding out more about that and catching
Well,
up?
you can find out with I think it's ukmensheds.org. So you can pop along to their website. Obviously, they've got an Instagram page as well, UK Men's Sheds. And yeah, get in touch. Find out if there is a shed in your area. If you want to go along, a lot of people, it's all about the socialising. The making things is a bit of a byproduct, and it's sort of like a second consideration, really. For a lot of them, it's all about meeting new friends and forming friendships. But yeah, find out, join the website, and get in touch. Nicola's put the link in. Oh, she will do.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Fantastic, thank you, Nicola. That sounds absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I've just seen a message there from Martin Dixon. The Kirkcaldy Men's Shed was broken into, and lots of their stuff stolen, which is dreadful. So yeah, if you get any offers of cheap equipment, just be wary, check where it comes from, maybe. So yeah, that's not good news. And who would steal from a charity? That's absolutely awful. So that's not good news. So alrighty, so I've probably chatted on for long enough there. And let's anyone to introduce for us, Chris, because I'm having I'm still having trouble seeing you properly. And if not, if you're ready to carry on, it's up to you. Where are we?
Yeah, I'm ready to carry on now, Terry.
All right, everyone back. I'll just give a quick shout. Everyone, time to get back, folks. All right, if they're not there, they'll soon catch up with us. And right, so I'll put you back on, Chris. Thank you very much. Absolutely loving what you're doing so far. So looking forward to that. And we will catch up with you again when you're ready. Just give us a shout. I'll be sitting here watching. So wait to see when you're ready. All right. Thank you very much. Take it away again, Chris.
Thank you very much. Right, folks, can you hear me okay? I've just removed the earpiece again, so it just limits any distractions, and it's one less cable. Well, I don't want any cables in the way. So,
Question.
yes?
No sealer before applying emulsion or primer?
No, not with chalk paint. Not with chalk paint. There's no need. I mean, it really does bond very well to everyone should be sort of like aware of the advantages. A lot of people apply chalk paint straight over existing finishes and it sticks so well. I'm just getting a couple of paintbrushes here, folks, so lovely jubbly. Right, so basically what I will be doing, I'm coming back now, is applying 3 colours, the rule of threes. Feel for my kitchen towel. So yes, I am going to be using my very much beloved dry brushing technique. It controls the amount of paint that I'm putting on. Makes it controllable, makes it a considered action for me. You could apply this any way you wanted, but I do like the way that the dry brushing, picks up the high points and really can enhance a piece. And the beauty of these iridescent paints as well is, in certain light conditions and looking at them a certain way, you'll get a different look, a different shimmer. Chatoyance. That was for Nicola. That Chatoyance. So yeah, a big shout out to my lovely wife Nicola, who's always in the wings, assisting and helping. Nicola's done all the tech for this, and a lot of you know her. So a big thank you to my amazing wife. So yeah, Team Fisher 2020, and it is teamwork. So right, how do I know what colour is what? Well, I have this amazing device called a pen friend, and it's from the RNIB. And if I hold this next to the mic and turn it on, hopefully you heard that beep. So we've got little labels affixed to these, and we have recorded the colour. Now, I do need a sighted person initially to tell me what colour it is, but once the message is recorded onto the device matches intuitively the message to a uniquely coded label. So if I just hold this against that.
Pink.
So I hope you heard that. I'll do it again.
Pink.
So that's pink.
Will the spirit colour work on this?
Yes, but it would absorb it a bit more than these.
Azure.
Azure. Are you sure azure?
Turquoise.
Turquoise. So yes, spirit stains would work, but because this is quite porous, that's why I've gone for an acrylic paint.
Terry's saying not really.
No, I wouldn't. That's why I've gone for this paint, an acrylic paint. It'd bleed out. Terry will probably back that up and agree. But yeah, it'd bleed out. Like I say, doing this dry brush with an acrylic, the chestnut metallics would look fantastic on this as well. So these are the little 30 milliliter starter set bottles. So you just shake it, hearing that little kid's tooth in there rattle away. That's what Bart Simpson says it is anyway. So I'm just giving... See, Nicola's laughing and it's like, what's she laughing for?
Terry came on the screen then.
Be afraid. And I'm going to deposit a generous amount onto my sacrificial cardboard I've got here. And now I also need some tissue paper. Just put those brushes in my pocket there. So tissue paper is for me to... I'm going to get some on the bristles, and then I'm going to remove a large majority of the paint from the bristles, so the brush is really dry, hence the terminology, dry brushing. So I have to tap around and find that paint now. Just get some loaded on that. So, and again, it's all about having fun. Fun. So what we're going to do now is, with a very light, delicate, wispy touch, going to start applying the turquoise to the texture. And again, by feel and sound, I begin to get an idea as to how much is left on the brush. So again, less is more, I find. Don't be greedy for finish. I say that a lot. Basically, what that means is take your time. Rome wasn't built in a day and all that sort of stuff. We're building up gently in layers. Really, I don't want to be filling the little craters I've got here with a huge big dollop of colour. So, less is more. Take your time. Very light, wispy technique. Don't be greedy for finish. Enjoy the process. I can't see this colour going on. I can't see it evolving. This is why routine is so important for me. But also, I used to work in the automotive industry before I went blind. So I have a great understanding of applying colours, how they feel. I've always had a lot of fun painting things. And, you know, people have said to me, you know, why do you bother applying paint when you can't see it? It's because it's a challenge. I enjoy it. You know, yeah, round and brown is fine, but they all feel the same to me. Get some texture and some paint on, and they all feel different. And there is also that saying, my workshop, my rules. And of course, you're going to get areas with more paint on than others. Just get that around the edge of the foot, and you're going to get, again, different areas with more on and less on. And how's it looking, folks? Nicola? So this is, we're just taking our time. Just go around in there, nice and gentle.
Then Conley and Alan Scott say it looks good and looks great. Wood Dude says it looks awesome.
So I'll be able to tell by the feel of the brush when to stop. And these acrylic colours by Chestnut, they're so easy to use. You know, the clean-ups are doddle as well. Clean up really nicely with just water. I'm just getting the inside there of the foot. Let's get a bit of a stippling motion in there. So if memory serves right, this was the turquoise. Okay, so get the hairdryer on it.
We had to pop out to pick his wife up.
Sorry?
Can you tell Gary Lowe what was on before the blue? Because he had to go and pick his wife up.
All right, yeah, hi Gary. So yes, it was the chalk paint first, and then this is the turquoise that I've just applied dry brush, just very random, with a very dry brush indeed. I've just gone round with a dry brush, just applying this turquoise all over. So what I'm ready to do now is discard that brush and feel for the next one along. So this was, if I remember rightly, should be blue. Okay, so I can put that there, change place now. Again, give it a good shake. It's always nice to hear from Gary Lowe. Big fan of Gary's. And Pat Carroll's knocking around somewhere as well. Yeah, Pat and Carroll. Great woodturners. Pat Carroll. Pat and Carroll. Yeah, Gary Lowe and Pat Carroll. Great demonstrators. It was lovely listening to them at the woodturning weekend last year. Funny guys, very talented, put on a great show. So if you get a chance to listen to them over the internet, check them out. as we say in Manchester. So, right then.
Pat says he's enjoying watching you.
Thank you, sir. So, right, we're going to go now for some azure. So again, tap around. I know when I found the paint because the bristles feel different. And Nicola loves vibrancy in colour, don't you, Nicola? So I thought I'd just go for something really, really just tons of colour tonight. So this is going to add subtle changes. It's not a huge leap from turquoise to blue. But it will give it a better depth.
Question.
Yes.
Guess from who?
Dave G.
Would it matter if you continue to use the same brush as it's only dry brushing?
No, you'd get away with it, Dave. But me being a blindo, I want to hedge me bets and just use a relatively clean brush. But no, you'd get away with it. Maybe just a quick rinse out in some water. So obviously we don't want to go over every inch of this texture now because we'll just end up covering all the turquoise with blue. Again, just inside that foot, a little bit of a stipple. Get a bit of a stipple on there. Have fun. Go nuts. Be mad. Be adventurous.
This is Nathan. Are these paints water-based or acrylic?
Well, they are. I think they are. Terry's probably your better man to ask for that one, but I think they're probably acrylics, aren't they, Terry?
Acrylic, which is pretty much water-based.
Yeah. They clean up really well, Nathan, in water, just ordinary tap water. So we're building up the layers ever so gently. Take your time. And again, just relying on my sense of touch. Let's get a couple of areas of just a bit more blue there, randomly, spandomly applied. Remember, random with purpose. You know, ultimately have an idea in your head as to what she's going to be like when she's finished. But don't get too, dare I say, anal about it.
Corey says, didn't know it was Chris the woodturner and a painter. His technique is very good. Awesome job, mate.
Cheers, pal. Big shout out and big love back to Virginia. Charlottesville in Virginia. Well, you know, there's so many different ways that you can come at wood turning. You know, you can be traditional, you know, you can be production turner, you can be wood turning artist, you can combine all the elements. What are you laughing at?
Nigel Errington, who cleans up after you finish?
Me. Won't let anybody clean up for me, Nigel. I have to do it all myself, because that way I reset everything back to default. I know where everything goes, ready for the next project. So just hitting it with the world's most expensive hairdryer again. £6 from Asda. And basically, I've done this before at a demo, but it wasn't textured, it was a smooth bowl. And I did this chalk paint inside and out and applied the iridescent colours with a sponge. But I was going for a mother of pearl effect, which is what we got, really. And for those of you that can remember, I had an intern last year from Lancaster Uni, but he was from Hong Kong originally, Matthew. So I gave his mother and father came over at Christmas to visit him. And the Mother of Pearl Bowl now resides in Hong Kong, but they're moving to the UK. And then, Matthew got his degree in film, because he was recording YouTube videos for me and editing them. So he graduated. So he's coming back probably to do his masters, and they're all relocating.
Richard Pierce says he thinks it's amazing the way you can find each and every tool with no hesitation. Something most sighted professionals really struggle with.
Well, this is it, and we've had this discussion. If I was partially sighted, I would struggle a lot more, because you're trying to look around that ocular defect. You know, if you've got just central vision or peripheral vision, things like that, you would be trying to look around and it'd be confusing. Because I work in complete darkness, I just really let go, and I'm completely at one with my environment. So I'm almost like a wood turning Jedi. So I am now applying what should be, is it pink? Can I have a time check, please, Nicola?
2 minutes past 9. Richard says we're turning Jedi. He loves it.
And me being a huge Star Wars fan means a lot. So yeah, I've gone with 3 colours from this iridescent palette that Terry's created. Just the rule of threes. Threes works well in wood turning. This would work over a black base coat as well. You could apply a black base coat, which I've done as well in a demo, but they don't pop as much.
Nigel Errington says, as a wood turning Jedi, what would your lightsaber be made from? And what colour?
I would like, well, the handle, I think, because I'm a bit of a goth and horror fan, I'd do it out of ebonized oak. And the actual, the business end, the beam, I'd just have it completely contrasting, and Probably just plain oak or ash.
Ruben Woodturner says that looks awesome. Harold says you always inspire me, Chris.
Who's that?
Harold Bowen.
Oh, all right, Harold. So Harold from Canada, lots of great followers and friends. Yeah.
Corey says it almost looks like an underwater coral type of effect with the pink and blue and then the texture. EME Joinery says looking really good, Chris.
Thank you. So get the hairdryer out again. Just hear Nicola keep giggling away in the background.
Terry said the hairdryer is not included in the discount code.
Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is mine.
Valerie says that it's her favourite colour you've made. She says it's stunningly beautiful already.
Who was that?
Valerie.
Hi, Valerie. So, yeah, just applying some heat there. Heat to cheat. So you have to make sure that it's pretty dry. It's feeling really, really good. So even though I won't get the entire bowl finished tonight, I think I've got enough time to at least get it mounted to the chuck. And we can make progress. But once this is finished, we will be posting pictures and tagging Chestnut in, of course. So I have got the faceplate spindle locked. Right, just while I'm doing this, I shall talk for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself and how I came to be here. I have been blind 12 years this October, and I've been wood turning nearly 7. So, yeah, October 2008, woke up one morning with really blurred vision. Probably the best way to describe it would be like looking through Vaseline smeared on your eyes. Didn't know what was causing it, and it was a Sunday when I woke up, so I thought it was alcohol induced, but it didn't clear up. So made an appointment for the optometrist. He got me in the following day. My eyes were non-responsive to light stimulus or drops. So he managed to have a look at the back of my eyes, and they were heavily swollen and inflamed around the retinas. So I got an emergency referral to the eye hospital in Manchester, and I had been booked in to. So I had been booked in to go to a Level 42 concert and meet the... What's the other one? So yeah, I'd been booked in to meet Level 42 at a concert, a big Level 42 fan, and to meet and greet and have a glass of wine with them in the green room. So I said, can I go at the eye hospital the day after? Because I'm meeting Level 42. And really, excuse the pun, but with hindsight, it was a great decision, because little did I know that I was going blind, and got to meet Level 42, went to the eye hospital. They thought it could have been early onset macular degeneration. They thought it could have been an arthritic form of blindness called uveitis. They got ruled out pretty quickly. And in that first week of going to the eye hospital, I started going blind. It started going from blurred to blind. And long story short, 4 weeks later, I was completely blind. They did the angiogram, and my retinas had been eaten away by toxoplasmosis, which you get from animal feces. And they think I could have contracted that on the park as a child, and it had laid dormant for about 35 years, and something triggered it off. So, yes, consultant said you're going to be completely blind the rest of your life. Let the machinery take over, so you inform social services, etc. Obviously, you get your certificate of blindness, and luckily, I had critical illness cover on the mortgage. And if you want to know how much your eyesight is worth, or was worth, in 2009 when I got paid out, I got £55,000 for going blind, which we spent £50,000 on the mortgage, which was good. So that pretty much cleared the mortgage off. And then we had £5,000 left over, which we went on holiday with. And then a year after going blind, I started with the anxiety, panic attacks, muscle spasms, being sick, hallucinations, insomnia. That lasted for about 3.5, 4 years. Thought of ending my life a couple of times. I felt that ill. Had counselling with the RNIB. It's called bereavement counselling, because it's so severe when you go blind. Got put on meds by the doctor. Bippity boppity boo. 2020. Blind Woodturner, first blind RPT ever. So that's it, really. That's my story in a very condensed fashion. Yeah, but that's the story nonetheless. So a lot of people have heard that story before. But it's obviously a huge part as to who I am, because, you know, every minute of my day is dictated to by blindness. So I thought I'd just share that with you. Thought I'd bore you yet again. Well, that's just really for anyone that didn't really know. So there you go. So we're going to start the lathe up now in a second. Put my face shield on now with this. It's been spun around. Nice and slow. Standing clear. And I'm listening intently for any danger sounds, any wobbles, any fluttering, any vibrations, anything that you guys would see in an instant. I've just tuned in now to listen and feel. And that sounds and feels quite good. So feel for my tool rest. Time check, please. So because I've got my tool rest height collar on and set for bowl gouge, I know that's perfect. So feel for my bowl gouge. Feel for that datum, that centre point. Just reasonably slow to start off with. Okie dokie. So again, with the parting tool, feel for where I need to be. Just feel. Obviously, I want to about there, I think. And again, I'm giving myself a tactile score line. That I can feel with the tip of my tool. Shooby shooby dooby. So I'm going to do some quick hollowing out with my round all-purpose carbide. And now because I will be really using this, just make sure that that's on height. Come up a bit more. I can readjust my tool height collar. Just slacken that off. This can take me hours to find this. Sometimes I have to. This is live being blind. But at least you're seeing it warts and all. You want to see me repair a puncture on a bike tyre, it's frightening. So there you go. What should be a 5-second job takes someone that's blind 10 chuffy minutes. Right, there you go. Ta-da! Well, thanks for staying with me, folks, through that. So, here we go. Just feeling for that there. Nice and gentle. So, it's taking me time. And this isn't going to get hollowed out. All the way, because I need to. Yeah, sorry.
Jamie, number 6, says, "What's your favourite piece you've made?"
Well, I like the Merlin stuff that I'm doing. That's textured and coloured, medieval. I've loved sort of like my Nick Agar inspired Viking bowls. Yeah, I love vampire steaks. I love doing magic wands. But I think the sort of like the Viking bowl that I did, probably about a month, 6 weeks ago, with the green inside. I really like that one. It's power carved and textured.
Would a small thumb screw be workable instead of the Allen screw? When you scribbling?
Yeah, that could work. I don't know if it would foul any here or just on the radius, but yeah, it's worth a consideration. Yeah, good idea actually.
Dave G wants to know what tool are you using there?
I'm using the Chris Fisher Blind Woodturner round carbide tool. Just general purpose, very quick for hollowing out for me. That sound means you're too close. So if I just tidy that up a little bit, stop and have a feel. Again, I'm going to texture this rim, texture it, colour it. I do exactly the same on this rim as what I have done on the back side. Just check that for height. Needs to come up a little bit. Again, just give it a actually got a really nice smell, this ash. It's quite fragrant and perfumed then, which was cool. Right, so if I swap over to the power cap now, I can carry on. So what time do we finish? About in a few minutes. Okay. Well, I'll put the saber tooth on, and at least it's ready on then for tomorrow.
We're not really clock watching, Chris, so feel free to overrun. Not a problem.
He's not clock watching.
Oh right, okay. Well, I won't go too much because it will be into, for me to do the whole thing, will be into, another hour and a half for me to finish. So I'll do a bit more texturing, Terry. If we go for another 10-15 minutes, at least I can get this.
Absolutely fine, mate. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Don't want to keep you here all night.
What, another 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, don't feel constrained.
Do a bit more texturing so people
when you get to a good point, sort of 10 minutes time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely fine. Yeah, perfect.
Another.
What's your favourite wood to turn based on the smell alone?
I think it's lime. Really like the smell of lime. Some of them, the smells you get are amazing. So, I mean, some to me smell like you know, hot popcorn and things like that. And it really is amazing some of the smells you can get. So I'm just getting the saber tooth back on. The saber tooth is held just in place by. Yeah, olive wood's obviously very nice. Reminds me of my holidays and cooking. Olive wood, yeah. No, it's right up there, olive wood, as a very evocative, romantic fragrance. Yes. Especially your olive wood, Neil. Yeah, that does really smell nice. So, power cap's going on. Unplug the lathe for safety. Lock the spindle. Again, just get my bearings. Yeah, the one I'm using now is lavender oil. Smells lovely. Whee! So, great fun. Okay, so basically your memory map, it's me working off mental imagery. So that works either something that I've done years ago and I can remember, so stuff that I'd done before I went blind, or like now, because this is a technique I've done many times, I sort of like get a mental picture in my mind as to what this looks like. So I'm sort of like referring to the surface of the moon or a golf ball or a hammered metal finish. So because I did used to have sight, I have got a wealth of mental imagery I can use to help. So again, completely random. If you were an engineer, leave your engineer outside when you do this. Really quick and easy. Going around and around. Press and move, press and move. Have a feel. Keep going. Keep moving. Like I said before, as long as I'm moving, I sort of know what I'm doing. No funny remarks. I think I know what I'm doing. Others may differ or disagree. Trying to get this all textured before we sign off for the night, and well, not sign off, but just a little bit left. Just having a feel around there, just and there you go. That's the outer portion of the bowl there, textured very quickly. Lots of fun. I really can't stress enough how much fun I have doing all this sort of stuff and texturing. But just take that spindle lock off. So yeah, it's there now. It's textured, and again, that will have the same chalk paint base applied, and then starting with turquoise, and then azure, and then pink again. This hasn't been hollowed out any more than that because I could get probably some chalk paint on the inside there, and obviously with having to turn more away, I'm going to clean that up, and if I get any paint on there, I can clean it up. So it's just like if you're using an airbrush as well. You just give yourself something to work to, and you'll set obviously the thickness of your rim with that, but then I will tidy it up later and hollow to depth. But just to show one last thing, I've got my tactile depth gauge here. So this is what I use when I'm hollowing out. So this little board here, make sure that the headstock area is clear of debris, otherwise it will affect the register. That slots up and goes right tight up against the headstock, and then I slide this in, and then it's calibrated to this lathe and this chuck. So there is now roughly there on the bottom just under an inch gap. So I know that I've got just under an inch to go before I'd punch through the bottom and turn it into a funnel. So that's that. So obviously if you get to that, you're in trouble. So but at the minute there's quite a reasonable gap. So that gap translates to how much I've got left before I punch through. So I will be using that tomorrow. Thought I'd show you that. Yeah, you can. I would apply a nice lacquer to it to seal everything in. Whether or not you want to go for sort of like a satin finish or a high gloss, entirely whatever your bag is, whatever you prefer, whatever you require, whatever the customers ask for. But yeah, it'd be a good idea to seal it all in. Yeah, go and get B-Dog. So Nicola's just going to go and get the pooch. So yeah, Bamba is my 4.5-year-old guide dog. I've had him since 2017. Before Bamba, I had a support worker, or a personal assistant as they're called now, a chap called Dean, who I had for about, well, let's just see, 2009 to 2017. 8 years. I had Dean for 8 years, but he left me to get full-time work because he just worked part-time for me. So I thought, all right, well, I'll try for a guide dog, and they paired me with Bamba, and we've been thick as thieves ever since. But he's amazing. I can hear him now. He'll be so excited to come in and see his dad. Hey, pal.
I think we're all looking forward to it.
Hello. So, Bamber, up, come here. Bamber, he's not supposed to do this. Bamber, up, come on, here. Bamber, up. Bamber, up, up. He doesn't know up. So, have they got him?
Yeah, he's on a different camera.
All right, okay. So, Bamber! Hello? Hello? What's it do? So, yeah, Bamber. Amazing guide dog, full German Shepherd. Only 7% of guide dogs are German Shepherds, still mainly Labradors, Retrievers, and some Labradoodles because they're hypoallergenic, so blind people with allergies can have a dog. But yeah, his father was a seeing eye dog in America, a German Shepherd in America called Elvis. But yeah, Bamber was bred and born to be a guide dog right from the get-go. He entered the program when he'd been weaned, about 6-8 weeks old. And then he was in training till he was 18 months old. We were paired together. And then he knew his stuff. I had to learn the stuff and become a team. So our training took a month approximately, and that includes 10-day residential training where you're out pounding the streets every day, supermarket stairs, public transport, all that sort of stuff. 9 to 5 every day, including weekends. You're not allowed any visitors or guests. You also do classes on hygiene, grooming, dietary requirements, health, vets. So it's quite intensive. And then you do more local training when you come out of the residential school. You do your local training and then you do your qualification walk, which is like your driving test for a guide dog. And if you pass that, you purchase your dog for 50 pence, which is an old tradition, but he's worth £57,000. Not that you'd know that sometimes.
Yeah, and don't tell him that either.
He's now
because,
late
yeah,
in all the sawdust on the floor. Bam, bam. What? I can hear him having a good sniff. What do you think of all that wood? Bamber? Upstand. Good boy. So, yeah. But as a rule of thumb, I know having a workshop dog would be great, and I would. But because he's, such an expensive working dog, and he is legally and he's technically and legally classed as part of me. That's why he's allowed in, establishments, because he is my eyes when we're out and about. I wouldn't want to run the risk of, getting any sort of chest complaints or infections in here. We know toxic wood species and dust and whatnot. So I'd probably get my ass kicked off guide dogs for doing that. So yeah, well, I'm pretty suppose done for the night regarding my demonstration. So otherwise, like I say, we're going to be in here till midnight for me to finish it.
That's fantastic, Chris. Thank you very much. Great to see Bamber at the end as well. Thanks for bringing him in. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed every minute of that. A great pleasure for me to be able to watch it because normally I don't get an opportunity to do so. I'm always away doing other things, working, etc. So, absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and look forward to seeing the finished item when you do that up probably on your Instagram. Is that going to go?
Yeah, it'll be finished tomorrow, and I'll post pictures and tag you in.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing that. Now we're going to cross over to Zoom in a moment. I hope you're going to join us. The Zoom link is in the chat comment, in the comments section, whatever you want to call it. So we'll be as soon as I get my camera working, I'll be over there. Nicola working hard in the background there. I can see you. No one else can, but I'm just going to. There we are. There's Nicola. She's been working hard. Bless her. Thank you very much for all your hard work and for setting everything up and for helping. Also with the the little practice rehearsals that we had, which in some cases seem to have come to naught because it still hasn't worked quite as planned, but we got there, and that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that. So if you're coming over, I will leave you to sort yourselves out with that. I need to do the same. Just announce some details about the next Conkers Live, and hopefully I'll see you in the Zoom chat in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to take over the screen again. Thank you again for all your hard work. Look forward to seeing you very soon. And yeah, here we go. So I'll just come back up here. So that's pretty much the end of the demo now, but we are going to cross over onto Zoom. The link has been in the chat box several times. Hopefully you've got that by now. So come and join us. We'll have a quick Q&A with Chris, and hopefully we'll get into some breakout rooms if you want. Just have a chat, stay as long as you want, and we'll take it from there. Just to quickly mention, we will be back on the 16th of September. There will be another Conkers Live, and really looking forward to that one as well. It'll be Pat Carroll demonstrating for us, and he's going to be demonstrating how he makes his wonderful signature boxes here. So got one ourselves, so I'm really looking forward to that demo as well, to see how it's done. So yeah, 16th of September. Put the date in your diary, in your calendar, or wherever you're going to put it. It'll be on the Conkers webpage as well, and on our Conkers Live Facebook page. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much for coming along tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. 10% discount, only going to be on the iridescent paints, but that's all set up, and that expires at midnight tomorrow night. So if you're ordering, you get 10% off on the iridescent paints. And look forward to seeing you all next time. Thanks again for joining us. Take care, and hopefully see you over on Zoom.